Fartknocking Bungholes, the Unsung Heroes of Comedy. It, it, let's be real. Nothing makes people laugh quite like a well-timed fart joke, but in the last landscape of lowbrow humor, there's a term that stands out as the king of ridiculousness: fart-knocking bungholes. If you ever snorted at the sheer absurdity of those words, you're not alone. This bizarre, crude, and utterly nonsensical phrase has wormed its way into pop culture as the ultimate expression of juvenile humor. But where did it come from? Why does it work? And more importantly, why can't we stop laughing at it? The origins of fart-knocking bungholes. Believe it or not, fart-knocking bungholes didn't just materialize out of thin air, though it sounds like it could have. The phrase seems to have its roots in the golden age of gross-out comedy, where shows like Beavis and Butthead and South Park reveled in pushing boundaries. It's that kind of term that sounds like it was invented by a bunch of middle schoolers trying to wind up each other in the art of ridiculous insults. Bunghole, of course, is an old school term for, well, your backside. It originally referred to the hole in a barrel, but somewhere along the way, it got repurposed for maximum comedic effort, and fart knocking, a word so stupidly vivid you can practically hear the sound, and you got comedy gold. Why it works? Humor thrives on surprise, absurdity, and a little bit taboo. Fartknocking Bungholes checks all those boxes. It's unexpected, it's gross, and it's just ridiculous enough to catch you off guard. There's something inherently funny about mashing together two crude concepts into one gloriously dumb phrase, plus saying it out loud is half the comedy funny. Just try not to chuckle when you do. This kind of humor also thrives on nostalgia. For anyone who grew up watching cartoons or playing with action figures, there's a childlike joy in embracing something so immature. It's a throwback to a time when the dumbest joke you could make you laugh until your sides hurt. Fart-knocking bungholes in pop culture. While the phrase might not be in the Oxford English Dictionary yet, it's popped up in enough obscure corners of the internet and comedy sketches to earn a cult following. From YouTube parodies to underground comedy albums, Fartknocking Bungholes has become a shorthand for a kind of humor that doesn't take itself seriously. Even mainstream comedians have dabbled in this brand of absurdity. Think of the Jackass crew or early Adam Sandler movies. It both relied on that same mix of slapstick and gross-out gags. Fart-knocking bungholes fits right into that tradition. A phrase so dumb, it loops back around to being genius. The science of stupid humor. Believe it or not, there's actual psychology behind why phrases like this make us laugh. Studies have shown that humor often comes from incongruity, the brain's reaction to something that doesn't quite fit. So when you hear fart-knocking bungholes, your brain does a double take. Wait, what does that even mean? That moment of confusion is where the laughter starts. There's also the element of relief. Sometimes life is stressful, and laughing is something completely legitimate that gives us permission to let go. That's why comedy clubs and late-night cartoons thrive. People want to laugh at nonsense. How to use fart-knocking bungholes in your own life. If you're looking to inject some absurdity into your daily routine, fart-knocking bungholes is a great place to start. Drop it into conversations when least is expected. Post points if you keep a straight face. Use it as a punchline in memes, or just to show when you need to break the tension in a room. And hey, if anyone gives you side-eye, just remind them that life's too short to take yourselves too seriously. Sometimes you just gotta embrace the dumb. The legacy of fart-knocking bungholes. Will fart-knocking bungholes go down in history as timeless comedic masterpiece? Probably not. But that's not the point. It's a reminder that humor doesn't have to be highbrow to be hilarious. Sometimes the dumbest jokes are the ones that stick with us the longest. So the next time you hear or say fart-knocking bungholes, take a second to appreciate the weird, wonderful world of comedy that lets us laugh at the most ridiculous things. And then, by all means, laugh your butt off. Hey there, fantasy and science fiction fan lovers. If you can't get enough of mystical realms, futuristic worlds, and thrilling adventures, then you come to the right place. By subscribing to Fantasy and Science Fiction at Story Nori, you gain access to an amazing collection of stories that will transport you to realms beyond your imagination. By hitting that subscribe button, You'll never miss out on the latest tales of wizards, time travels, space exploration, and so much more. Our channel is dedicated to bringing you the best in fantasy and science fiction storytelling, and we're always adding new and exciting content for you to enjoy. But that's not all. By subscribing, you'll be also becoming part of our incredible community of fellow fantasy and sci-fi enthusiasts. You'll be first to know about the latest content for the channel that you won't find anywhere else. So what are you waiting for? Join us on this epic journey into the unknown by subscribing to fantasy and science fiction at Story Nori. Today, your next thrilling adventure awaits. Hit that subscribe button and let the storytelling begin. Thank you for being part of our amazing community. We can't wait to share even more incredible stories with you.